Off that, do any of your companies look at profiles like on Monster.com or LinkedIn or any of that for further resources?
We don't necessarily. I mean, we look at the resume and then we base our decision based off of the interview. We have 3 different stages in the interview process, so that's mainly what we make our decision on. And then we'll do background checks and that kind of thing, but nothing related to the social network out there.
We don't make decisions on it, but yes, I do go out and look on LinkedIn and look at people's profiles and things like that. More it's when they're in the interview stage to get an idea of some of their past experiences and how they line up. But on top of that, what we use those social networking sites more for is recruiting. We have a Facebook page. We have a LinkedIn profile, a LinkedIn group, I should say.
Can I just
so
ask real quick, does everyone know what LinkedIn is? Have you heard of LinkedIn? Okay.
it's a social networking site where a lot of people in the industry I would say nonprofits as well, and public companies, a lot of people have their profiles out there about where they went to school, where they've worked, what are their job descriptions. You can get recommended by different people. So, let's say you have a professor you're really close with, you say, can you recommend me? That's kind of them writing a little reference letter for you out on LinkedIn. So it's a great networking site, but we do use it a lot for recruiting. I know I personally use it in my job as far as doing some more direct higher level recruiting, and that's when it really comes into play. But yes, we are starting to use more of those social networking sites a lot more.
We actually use the social networking sites to promote our events, and we also give promotional codes for discounted rates for fans of our Facebook page, which is kind of a new thing we're doing. But I would actually add too that I would, if your profile on Facebook or MySpace is public, take anything incriminating down, because while I would never look at somebody's profile online, I feel like it's really intrusive and it's not part of the application. If people want more background information, they'll do a background check and with the employee's consent, but some employers do. Some employers will look at your page and your profile and will make judgments based on that, and part of the problem is the picture might not tell you, what that picture really is happening in that picture, and people may make assumptions. And I've heard stories about employers not hiring people because of their inappropriate screen name, or looked like they were drinking, or looked like using bad judgment, and it's kind of scary to me.
Well, you try to, as an employer, stay away from Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I
Yeah, we all have our personal lives out there. It's no one's business. But I do use the LinkedIn profile because I think that is more of a professional networking site, and it's credible, and it does give a little bit more information. But we, as Facebook, we use to promote our events, and to show pictures of our philanthropy events that we have here in Minnesota so that people can see. But yeah, no, I mean Facebook.
Well, and LinkedIn is, and I should have introduced myself. I work in the Career Center in CLA, but I work with employers, and we are hearing from a lot of employers that they're starting to use LinkedIn. So I think it's a fabulous tool. If you don't have a profile up there, I would get set up there, and it's a great way to network. Not only with employers, but with alumni from the U. There's many U of M alumni who are set up on LinkedIn that are willing to help introduce you to people. Your family, your parents' friends, your parents, all of those are part of your network. So I think it's a great tool, and we're hearing from alumni and employers that they're starting to use it just to make connections, not necessarily to look at your history, but to start recruiting, like you said, Jill, and make connections through the system.
I have candidates who
Sure.
I'm linked up to out there as far as future opportunities that may become available throughout the U.S. So it is a great tool.
And can I jump in,
Yeah.
Megan, and introduce myself? Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Buckley, and I'm a career counselor in the CCOC, the Career Services Office for CLA. And you have two, probably three, very nice people up there who won't check Facebook, but some employers definitely are. And I just want to reiterate: scrub your profile clean, even if it is public, make it private, and that even if it's private, still scrub it clean.
Yeah.
I'd hate for you not to get a job off of one picture or something like that. So.
Yeah.
Just a quick related question. Have you heard anything from employers about it reflecting negatively if you keep your profile completely private, if you're not opening up, or if
not necessarily negatively, but I have heard of instances where employers have required someone to give someone access to that profile so that they can
Wow.
check it. And that's
I've
very,
never-
very aggressive, very intrusive.
You know, in a lot of companies, I know Steve Robinson, our internet system that we have certain websites that are blocked. So you'll find that Facebook is one of them that is blocked, as it is a personal social. It is a personal social networking. So you're going to find that too at employers that a lot of the times they can't get in. So there's no need in even doing it, but.
Well, we are just about out of time. Are there any last questions? I know I have one last question, but is there anything out there that you're wondering about, or this is your opportunity to? Sure.
I would just want to know what experience, if you kind of have limited job experience, would you suggest kind of getting yourself involved in like other jobs, just temporary things before applying to one of the bigger corporations? Or for someone that's looking for kind of an entry level, would you just tell them to apply and just see if it'll work out?
I would definitely apply. I mean, if you feel like you're qualified at this point, I mean, definitely apply and see how you do. You know, but if you can't find that full-time career right now, then definitely you need to get involved in some type of part-time work or some kind of volunteering, some kind of organizational work in order to keep those skills, or at least to start building some different skills. Because within our criteria, we look at that individual has to have relevant experience within the last 2 years. So if we don't see that, we're not going to be able to call you in for an interview. So I would definitely keep, just to get some kind of part-time job or something to make sure that you're still in the workforce.
You know, sometimes I find even students maybe with minimal work experience, they have a lot of experience as far as being part of organizations or clubs on school, and so highlight that. Highlight what you've done for those groups, because those skills are transferable to a job.
And I would add, if you don't have any nonprofit experience, you should look into serving on a board, because there's a lot of nonprofits looking for board members, from all different walks of life and experience. And then, what's the other thing? Well, just internships. So there's tons and tons of internships out there for recently graduated students as well. And I think it's part of this trend where, staff are being let go, paid staff, but I think nonprofits are starting to use more interns to get the work done. So it's an interesting development, but definitely, if you need to get some unrelated work just because you need a paycheck, that's okay. And I think it's an extraordinary time. I think employers are much more understanding of job histories that might look a little different just because people need to work. But having some volunteer work or experience that's kind of leading towards that relevant experience is important.